Hello, students. Welcome back. We are going to continue with sweep, the sweep feature in Inventor. And I have one more example that I wanted to show you. And we're actually going to model an Allen wrench. Okay. So go ahead and double click on Autodesk Inventor Professional. It's taking a little bit of time here, but that's okay. We'll be all right. I'm going to go ahead and get current in my project. I'm going to show you how to set up a project folder a little bit later on, but I'm going to get current in CAD 241. Done. All right. So go to New, New. Expand this. We're going to do English, and then select Standard IPT, and then select Create. So it's going to load now. All right, select Start 2D Sketch. Start 2D Sketch. And again, I'm going to click on the XY plane. Now, as before, this is the Y-axis, this is the X-axis. Your sketch or part of your sketch needs to intersect one of these axes. And a lot of times I like to use the Y-axis. So, excuse me, I'm going to select line, line, and I'm going to come over here in this quadrant and I'm going to click, and I'm going to come over this way, and I'm just using some arbitrary dimensions here, okay? So I'm going to say, make this like 3, enter, and you can scroll out. Take your scroll wheel and rotate it. All right, and then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to make this 5 inches. Do a right click, okay. Now, earlier I also showed you how to move your geometry. Go to Move, and we're going to hold down the left mouse button, and we're going to drag a window frame around that geometry. Then we need to select the base point. So click on this arrow, and I'm just going to click right here. You can click here. You can click at any one of these points. I'm going to click here, and I'm just going to move it over, reposition it kind of like this, and click, and done. All right. Now I'm going to put a rounded corner here, and we have to use the fillet command for that. So I'm going to try, let's see what 0.5 looks like. Hang on, let's see, something is not working right here. Let me try this again. All right, so I finished the sketch, but I didn't want to leave the sketch. So if you ever do that, just go back over here on the browser and do a right click, edit the sketch, and then I'm back in the sketch mode. I'm going to go to fillet, and I'm going to try this 0.5 again. There we go. Now I want to make it I want to make it a little bit bigger than that. So I can say double click on this and change this to 0.75 and enter. Let's see how that looks. And that looks a lot better. And I'm going to finish the sketch. Now, Mr. Morris likes to draw in the isometric mode, or to model. My 3D model is in isometric mode, so I'm going to get an isometric. Now, I'm going to come over here on the browser, and I'm going to expand where it says origin, and I'm going to actually, if I hover over all these, I like the YZ plane. So I'm going to right click there and make it visible. Now what I want to do is be able to project and then sketch on that plane. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Sketch, Start 2D Sketch, Start 2D Sketch, and click on this plane, and get back into the isometric view. Now watch very carefully. Go to Project Geometry, and watch. I'm going to click on this line, and you can't see it very well, but there's a yellow dot there. Mr. Morris couldn't see it. I just know it's there. You have young eyes, so you probably can see it better. Now, I'm going to create a hexagon at that point, because if you ever looked at an Allen wrench, you know, is the cross section is a hexagon. So come over here where it says rectangle and hit the down arrow and come down here to where it says polygon. You know, poly means many and gon means side, so many sides. So click on that. And the default is already at 6, which is a hexagon, right? So I'm going to click right here, and I'm just going to click on that line like this. I'm going to click right there, do a right click, okay. Now, I don't know what the distance is across the flats, but if you go here to dimension, okay, and click here and here. Now, that's the dimension across the flats. This would be the dimension across the, the points here. I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to change this to 0.375, which is 3/8, and select the green check mark. All right, now that's my cross section, and this is my path. I'm going to finish the sketch, okay, and I'm going to select sweep, and notice that it automatically selects the profile, and it wants to know the path. So select my previous sketch for the path, okay, and select OK. All right, now this is my Allen wrench so far. I didn't look at any drawings, but it may be that the flat is up here, but that's okay. I'm just trying to get the idea across to you here. Nothing official here. Just trying to show you how to do a sweep. I'm going to right click and turn off the visibility of the plane there. I'm also going to right click on the file name, which right now is part 1. Go to iProperties and go to physical, and I'm going to go ahead and give this some material. I'm going to call it steel mild. Apply, close. All right, so hey, there's some other things you could do here. I mean, you could do a pipe elbow or something like that. There's lots of different things you could do. And I'm going to give you an assignment that's really it's a pipe elbow to do as well a little bit later, probably later in the week. But anyway, so this is how you would model your Allen wrench. I'm going to file, save as, and I'm going to call this Allen wrench. And notice, I don't know, I didn't use the exact dimensions. You could go online and research the exact dimensions for your Allen wrench. It's not necessary to do that here because we're just practicing the sweep command. But anyway, I'm going to save this. So I'm also going to export this as an image file. And I don't like bitmap images. I'd rather do a PNG right here. And you could put this in a PowerPoint or a Word document if you wanted to. All right, and we're going to save this. Okay, now we need to make a drawing. Mr. Morris is going to keep this pretty simple. File, new, English, come down here. And by the way, ANSI stands for American National Standards Institute. So it's a standard for how you create a drawing file. And IDW means Inventor Drawing File. IDW, I is Inventor, and DW is Drawing. Okay, so we're going to create a drawing. Okay, so let's see. Where did my drawing go? Let's try this again. Something happened to my drawing, folks. File, new, English. I guess I didn't click on this, I'm sorry. And create. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to go over here to the browser. I'm going to right click on sheet 1 and I'm going to edit the sheet. We're going to change it to a size A. I'm going to make it a portrait this time. Okay. Bring in the base view. And here is our Allen wrench. And that's a good size. So I'm going to move this over here like this. I'm going to project. Hit the project button and you'll see that as you move the cursor near your geometry, you'll see a red rectangle appear. Click on that and there's the top view. And I'm going to come up here. I'm going to left click, right click, and then create. And I'm going to do a right click here and click on edit view and shade. Okay, now watch, I'm going to undo that. Watch one more time. I'm going to move my mouse near the geometry. I'm going to do a left click, right click, edit the view, select the shade button, and select OK. All right, now we need to put some dimensions here. And I actually think I've got my Allen wrench model wrong, but that's okay. I'm just trying to get the idea across to you here. The hexagon should be rotated a little bit so that the flat is on top. Anyway, that's all right. Go to Annotate, and we're going to put in some bisector center lines here. Let me undo that because that didn't come out right. Go to bisector, click on this line and this line. There you go. And then we'll click on this line and this line. All right. Right click and then hit the cancel escape. So we need some dimensions here. Okay, and we're going to put a dimension right here, zoom out, click here. Okay, now, there's a lot of, I don't like the layout of these dimensions here, so what I'm going to do, if it's okay with you, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to move this a little bit closer, and if okay with you, I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to, let's see, we need to get all right, maybe I will, I'm going to delete this one here. Watch one more time how I delete a dimension. You just do a left click on it. Excuse me, right click. Right click, select edit, or delete rather. One more time. Mr. Morris messed up there. Sorry about that. We're going to do a right click on the dimension and then select delete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a horizontal dimension right here. and I'm going to put a vertical dimension right here. And I'm going to just move this over, bump this over. So all you got to do is when you see your red, when you move your cursor near the geometry, you see a red rectangle appear. Just hold down your left mouse button. You can move that around like this, okay? All right, now we have a dimension here that I want to show that it's a 3/8 Allen wrench. So okay, maybe we'll put the radius here of this arc here. Let's try this. I'm going to put a center line here and here, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to click on dimension, click on the arc. It's not liking me here for some reason. All right, there you go. All right. Right click, okay. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and label the view labels, or put the view labels on here. Now this would be our top view. Just like in Word, you can hold down the left mouse button, highlight that, make it bold, underline, select OK. All right, then do a right click OK. I'm going to move this up a little bit. All right, I'm also, you can move this label. Just hover over it with the mouse, hold down the left mouse button, and you can drag it. You can also do a right click, copy, come down below this label, do a right click and paste here, and then paste here. Then do a right click, cancel. Now, we know this is not the top view, so we got to double click on this and edit this. This is the front view. Select OK. This is ISO view. Select OK. All right, now I'm going to move this view up a little bit. I'm going to hold down my left mouse button and drag this up. I'm just spreading things out a little bit. Move this over here a little bit. Hold down the left mouse button and move that. I'm going to move this up as well as this label. All right, now, so for the most part, the drawing is complete. It wasn't a complicated drawing. I just wanted you to get practice using the sweep command. I am going to give you an elbow, a 90-degree elbow to do. All right, so we need to fill out the title block here. So we're going to do go over here to the browser. Here's a file name. We're going to do a right click on this, and we're going to go to iProperties and go to Summary. And the title of this is Allen Wrench. By the way, you should make all of your letters capital letters or uppercase letters. Subject is CAD 241, and the author is you. So, and the manager would be me. Okay, and the company is Thomas Nelson Community College. You don't need to put anything underneath this line. You can, but it's not going to show up on your title block. So you can fill some other information out here that would be pertinent to your drawing. Go to project, come down here where it says designer. You are the designer. So put your last name. You are also the engineer. Okay, and authority would be me. So it'd be you, and then Mr. Morris here. Okay, now let's go to status, checked by you. Click on the check date, and then engineer approved by you, or Mr. Morris rather. So engineer approved should be me actually. Click on this date, and manufacturer approved by, and you can change that date. because a drawing has to go through the hierarchy of a company. So different people have to sign off on the drawing. It's actually a legal document once it's completed. And we're going to apply and close. And I'm going to file, save. Okay, so now, our drawing is complete. Okay, so I'm going to file, save as, or actually export as a PDF. Okay, and let me save that. I'm going to actually post this in Canvas for you. All right, now we want to also print this. What you could do, we want to do a best fit here, and you can preview it. Now, as I said earlier, notice that the margins are not uniform. It's kind of wide here, right? You have a wide margin right here and a wide margin over here. And here you don't, right? The top and the bottom you don't. So what you want to do is close this out and go back to File, Print again. But what I'm going to do differently this time is I'm going to do a rotate by 90 degrees. And now I'm going to do a preview. And that's much better. Okay, that's much better. And I would just go ahead and print this. I'm not going to actually print it to my printer, or send it to my printer rather, but this is my printer file name, and I would just say okay. All right, if I was going to print it out. But you're going to submit it as a PDF, okay? All right, so that completes this little video. It's a continuation of sweep. Now, sometime later on the week, I'm going to give you a pipe elbow. I'm going to give you a pipe elbow, and you're going to need to draw it just like this. It's very similar, okay? Anyway, I hope you have a good day, a good evening. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this published. Yesterday being a holiday, and Mr. Morris had to go to the doctor today, so I've been kind of held up. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.